So, welcome back to Pon's Tinkering Garage. We're going to continue our series, Anatomical Approach to Human Body Topology. Today, we're going to talk about using real-life models as a reference to prove the theory that we have discussed in the last part, and to further understand how this theory, works in real-life situation. So yeah, as for the reference, I got these are the reference that we're gonna use, and I got these photographs from one of the best artist reference provider. They are called Graphite Studio, and they're great, and you should check their stuff out. I will provide a link down below. However, I'm not an affiliate whatsoever. I don't earn any financial gains by sharing this stuff. I'm just a happy user and I just wish to share great stuff to other people. So yeah, here's the thing. This is another wisdom to the artists have acquired for a long time when it comes to human likeness making in general. And it's something that 3D artists seem to have lagged a little behind. Uh, Here it is. Use an artist model. It can be a live model or it can be photographs of a live model. I know that I know that you can get great reference from the likes of Google or Pinterest, but as you will see that they will not match the quality of reference that's specifically and professionally made for artists. For one thing, so if you go here and go for the properties, you will see that in details, you will see that these are 4000 by 6000 pixels in resolution, meaning that it has 24 megapixels in quality. And if you open this, one of these, you can zoom in really, really, really close, and you can see all the necessary details and the striation of the face that we will use to guide us in this series. The second reason is that these models are artist models. So, meaning that they're trained not only to look good in front of a camera, but also to render poses and expressions that may look, ugly or funny. However, they are very, very important for us, the artists. And one of the example is something, yeah, like this. It's kind of ugly face, but however ugly that is, they are as important for us to observe, right? So the third reason is that these photographs are taken in studio environment. It's very well lit, it's light controlled, meaning that there are no other unintentional light sources peeking through the model. And the most important of all is that it's free from filters and heavy editing. I mean, if there are filters and heavy editing on these photographs, these fine lines all across the face will be kind of smoothed out to the point that it's going to be harder for us to observe. So yeah, I mean, like, the bottom line is to make your life easier, please get yourself an artist or professional grade reference. So yeah, let's get it started. We'll start from the top zone of the face, which is the forehead and the brow. So remember about the thing that I mentioned on the first part, I guess, how as far as 3D modelers concerned, they only have to make something that look good in this resting state, right? Well, when it comes to the face, there's nothing more true than the forehead area. You see, when it's on the resting state, we will assume, and I will assume it as well, that the forehead is this big and flat, continuous plane, right? Uh, but the thing is, when we apply some force of movement into the forehead and create some form of expression, right away, we will see that it's not necessarily the case. The forehead area is actually uh, can be divided into two separate planes: the forehead itself and the brow. So the topology of these two planes are also quite different from one another. As I've mentioned in the last part, the forehead maintains these slightly curved horizontal lines, and the vertical lines run rightly perpendicular to the horizontal lines, right? So, however, the brow part has the same slightly curved horizontal lines at the outer edge here, but as they move to the middle part, they curve down to the base of the nose right here. So yeah, eventually it creates this kind of a rounded topology, right? And the vertical lines run a little different than the forehead because they now go diagonally to the horizontal lines of the brow. So it may look weird for now, but when we come to think of it, it does make sense because the motion driver, the driver of the motion of our eyebrows are actually in this middle portion, while the outer edge side just kind of follow behind. When we raise our eyebrows, the middle portion goes first and it moves the most. So, so yeah, that is for the top zone. We will now move on to the middle zone, and right here, and yeah, that is the cheeks and the eyelids. For the cheeks, there is no big surprise to be revealed over here because we all know that the horizontal lines of the cheek go in a roundish manner around to the side of the face. And yeah, so the thing about the cheeks is that we can observe it quite easily, even on ourselves, because we all have these, smile lines, and yeah, this makes the vertical lines to go in this curve, a little bit curve, radiating manner. So they go that way. This is go to a little bit to the side. This is go more to the side, and this go in this kind of circle manner. And as for the eyelids and the area between the eyelids and the eyebrow, as I call it, the upper orbit, they're a little hard to observe on yourself, and that's where our 24 megapixels reference come to our aid, because you will quickly notice that the horizontal lines for the orbit actually come from, let me turn it on, so that's the thing. You will quickly notice that the horizontal lines for the orbit actually come from the upper side of the face, which then curve in to the upper orbit, and then they will then go to the middle, curving to the middle, and they will curve out to create the same flow for the lower orbit part. And these horizontal lines on the bottom, on the lower orbit, are actually the reason why our smile lines don't stop around the cheeks. So if we turn this off for a moment, uh, you will, because you can also observe that the smile lines extend up to the outer edge of the lower orbit as well. So if we turn this back on, you will see that that's what's actually happening. And so yeah, so even though that the middle zone has no big surprise to reveal here, but this zone is the most important of all three because the cheeks, the eyelids, and the orbits do move a lot and they move the most often. So yeah, that's it for the middle zone. We will now move on to the last zone, the bottom zone, and that is the chin and the jaw. And we will use this funny expression to do that. So yeah, if the middle zone is like the most important of all three, the bottom zone is like the least important of all three when it comes to movements or creating expressions. But the thing is, the chin and the jaw are the connection of the head to the neck. So they are basically the bridge between the head and the rest of the body. So yeah, they may be the least important when it comes to movements or creating expressions, but when it comes to the full functionality and the success of the entire model, the bottom zone is like the most important of all. So yeah, let's start with the chin first. The horizontal line of the chin are basically a continuation of the cheek's horizontal lines. And so yeah, you can see that these are the cheek's horizontal line. They just kind of move to the bottom here, and yeah. So if you notice that, yeah, the horizontal lines of the cheeks and the chin create one continuous round shape from the edge of the nose up here and down to the bottom of the chin, the bottom part of the chin right here. So as for the vertical lines, because the chin connects to the neck, it basically makes the chin unique. Because let me turn this off for a moment. Because for the first time, it's the only not for the first time, it's the only area where we get to see some part of the vertical lines quite clearly, because it's kind of running down from the muscles of the neck and they go up to the chin area, and it also happens in here. And you can, if I turn this back on, you will see the vertical lines quite clearly on this one. And yeah, so yeah, that's it for the chin. Now let's move on to the jaw. So this is the model for the photograph for us to observe. And yeah, so to be honest, when I created this head topology, the jaw was like the biggest nemesis that I had to defeat. But now, when I come to see it with full knowledge of it, it all easily makes sense. For one thing, just like the chin, the jaw connects to the neck as well. But unlike the chin, it inherits the diagonal horizontal lines of the neck. So if we zoom in really, really, really close here, you can see the diagonal lines that I've talked about. So maybe zoom it out a little. So you will see that there are these diagonal lines. So if we turn it on, you may see it better. So that is something like that. And yeah. And surprisingly, when it comes to the vertical lines, they actually come from the lower orbit horizontal lines. You will see that this is the orbit and they go down to the side here and down to the jaw part, right? So yeah, that's, if I turn this off for a moment, if you zoom in again, that's the reason why we can still see, however thinly they are, the lines connecting this orbit, and then if you can trace it down here, and they will go down to right to this to the jaw and to the diagonal horizontal lines of the jaw. So yeah, so that is how. Uh, yeah. Now, anyway, you will notice by now that this head is in the resting state, because I kind of talked about the fallacy of using the head in the resting state as the kind of the source of knowledge. So yeah, when if we go to the next example here, uh, when we put some force of movement to the entire bottom zone, these lines that we observe here will look something like this. So yeah, you get that one continuous line, round shape, from the edge of the nose, coming down, and they will tuck into the bottom of the chin, and you get that bit from the neck coming up to the lower lips and the chin and lower lips, and you get that bit, this bit from the lower orbit coming down. Maybe this is something that you can actually see a little bit clear, a little bit more clearly, because they go in this part from the lower orbit. They will go down here, and they will go, yeah, straight down to the jaw, right? So yeah, so that's how it looks like in action, and yeah, so that's for the bottom zone. In case you wonder how all the zones work and connect to one another, this is how it looks like, I guess, from the front view. Uh, so this is the photograph that we're gonna use, and this is how it looks like from the front view. So you get the forehead, you get the brow, you get this thing, the orbit part, and you got the eyelids themselves. You got the cheeks going down and connect to uh, the jaw and the chin part right here, tucked under. So from the front view, it's not gonna be seeable because they go to the bottom part of the chin. So these lines basically go to the bottom part of the chin, which we cannot see from this view. And yeah, there is this the chin bit, and yeah, that's how it looks like from the front view. The entirety of the topology, or the lines, the horizontal and the vertical lines of the face. So so yeah, I guess that's it for the using reference part. On the next part, we're gonna talk we're gonna compare the current standard head topology, which looks something like this, to our reference, and analyze what seems to be lacking from this particular head topology. So yeah, that's it for now. I'll see you later.